Stirring the coffee with giant chopsticks of truth using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. And you know it. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. We'll get started. First, coffee. Nasty. Oh, where's my Ethiopian? Holy crap, this is bad. My lord. What happened? That's it. The chef gets fired. Good morning. How are you? Hold on. Mustache is getting too big and I'm getting coffee in it now. Here we go again. The struggle is real, my friend. The struggle is real, my friendly acquaintance. Well, we're making an obvious pivot in content, I'd say in the past few months, and you're going to see a real change in some things. And it's not just going to be the pontificating, it's going to be actual instruction, not just inspiration. But you need to be able to do something at the end of every Daybreak Show. You need to be able to have one skill. You need to be able to have your value increased, not just your ego or your pain soothed or hunches confirmed. I want you to be able to have a skill that's usable and actionable, which of course means probably going to lose half the people who are into mental whacking off with every Daybreak Show. I want you to have skills. Skills are the new education. And that's where we're moving with the Daybreak Show, to equipping you for life. That's what's happening. Me and the staff at the Daybreak Show. Me, myself, and I. When you create your product eventually, your business idea, when you bring it about, getting ready to launch it, very few people that you know are going to purchase it. You think that everyone you know is just going to run right there and just give you their credit card, whip out their wallet. Doesn't happen that way, my friendly acquaintance. Get comfortable with pitching everything to complete strangers. That's the way the world works. You didn't get a lot of support when you were creating your product from those closest to you. Many of them just gave you lip service. But the reality is that most of the money that you make is going to come from strangers. But all of it's going to come from people, human beings. If you are not good with people, you've heard me say this in the past, then take acting lessons and act like it. Nobody will know the difference. I don't care if you are a complete introvert monk. Learn to be good with people, no matter how painful it might seem. Because every dollar you ever make is going to come from people. Simple as that. It became very popular in the past 10 years, especially with social media. It became very popular for people to say, I hate people. Because social media really brought the worst out of people. I know it brought the worst out of me. It did not bring the best out of me until I decided that it would. So what exactly is happening on my side of the internet? Let me explain to you a couple things. We talk about goals here, and not just about this nebulous, undefined thing in the future. I'm talking actually how to get to your goals. Number 2, positive relationship talk. Some people say, well, you got to keep it real. You have to keep it real, but you have to keep it hopeful too. And I'm not talking about hopium. I'm not talking about wishing and hoping for the best. I'm talking about actually having positive relationships. 3, how to be trimmer and healthier. 4, tips, motivation, and examples of making more money and working smart. Welcome to the bright side. The Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason. You've known that for years. Some of you are in a tough spot, and it is my hope that you will find something on this channel, on the Daybreak Show, in my free Unstuck Newsletter that's going to ignite a fire in you and help you grow. Not just tickle your ears, but literally help you grow. You're going to find something here. Some people say that the last couple years really ruined dating. Dude, let me tell you something. It actually helped you. You know why? Because it helped you identify the whack jobs that would be, let's say, a handful if you had a long-term relationship with them or married them. Give thanks to God. That's all I have to say. I'm keeping it real here. It revealed the nut jobs. Starting anything new is kind of scary, and it can be kind of embarrassing. People are going to laugh. You're not going to feel qualified. There's that thing called imposter syndrome where you say, my gosh, who would actually give me money for what I teach? But when you make it through that odd stage, guess what? The crowd cheers because you're now an expert. If you do something consistently for 3, 6, 9, 12 months, guess what? You are that thing. When people look at your work, when people look at your social media, what do they see you doing more than anything else? You are that thing. You are that thing. For instance, I made a very conscious move to make my social media not about bitching about things and people and critiques and commentary and all that TMZ BS, TMZ type BS, my opinion, but about equipping you with ideas to get out of the hole that you may or may not have dug for yourself. Just remember that regret is poison. When you are older, you are not going to regret the things that you did as much as the things that you didn't do. That's why I'm encouraging you to act. Not on your impulses, but on your ideas. Big difference between acting on impulses and acting on ideas. Over the years, you've heard me say certain things like, pursue excellence, and excellence will pursue you. Sometimes that excellence comes in the shape of a woman. That's cool. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it comes in the color of money. Sometimes it comes back with good lab work and you feel good and unstoppable. All beautiful things about the pursuit of excellence. You've also heard me say, save the man, not the marriage. There's plenty of channels that are teaching men how to simp for a wife that has already gone astray. Do you really want that back? You separated for a while? And there's actually courses and coaching programs for you to simp more? To get back a wife that has strayed? Dude, it's not like she went to a convent when you guys separated. You're getting back a Hertz rental car. That's what's happening with higher mileage. Let's not joke around about that. There's no glory. There's no glory in saving something that is dead. If somebody cheated on you, if someone has made your life hell, save yourself. Don't be a martyr, my brother. You will lose money chasing women, but you'll never lose women while chasing money. Chase your passions first. Chase your passions first. Get your act together before you invite anyone in. I know it's all romantic, like we worked through this together. She was with me when I had nothing. That worked for Grandpa. That's not working these days. So we have to kind of like reinvent how to make it. And that's what we're doing here in the Daybreak Show. You can reinvent yourself at any age. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are. If you do something for 3, 6, 9, 12 months, you are that thing. Doesn't matter what your past is. Unless you're a convicted pedo, then you go to the firing squad. That's all. And I'm not joking about that. Divorce does hurt, but you know what hurts more? The fallout from your reaction to it, whether it be anger, drinking, drugs, the revolving door in your bedroom, your insomniac nights where you drive past the marital home looking for an unknown car in your driveway. Just know that you can make things worse than they are. Stop, take a breath, think about what you're doing, think about what you're saying. You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Remember, this is the home of sanity, clarity, and reason, and we want that to rule while you're going through some tough times, no matter what your tough times are. One man's kind of rough times are another man's end of the world. The wife says she wants out of this marriage. That makes one man happy, makes another man cry. It's hard to think about your lost marriage or relationship when you're splitting a cord of wood, painting a room, or making 500 bagels at your part-time early morning job, biking to work, working to reveal the six-pack that's hidden under 3 inches of fat, or buffing up the guns for next summer. It's hard to think about your tough times when you're busy. Sometimes your biggest enemy can be you. There's nothing that can happen to you that means the end of the world. I'm not one to be quoting too many people, but Epictetus did say, men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. Is your divorce a bad thing? At first, it may seem that way. But it all depends on how you view it. Is it going to be the start of a new life? Is it the end of an old life? Is it the end of a life that you once loved? Grieve it and start building a new life. I know this is speaking to somebody. It seems like I'm speaking in code, but the guys that are going through some crap right now, you know what I'm talking about. As one subscriber said, damn, George, you know what men's struggles are and you address them to a T. I do, and I have several reasons why. Number one is I'm kind of wired in that direction to look for what makes a man fail. My academic education has taught me how to probe into people's problems, ask the right questions, and draw things out of them where they come to conclusions on their own. Number two, my own experiences, my own failures have taught me, even the ones that I've repeated a few times, that really blows when you repeat the same mistakes over and over, or you do it again because you haven't learned. And number three, working with men for decades. Decades. My first job out of grad school was in 1986. I was working as the director of drug and alcohol counseling at a mental health clinic. So a double whammy. Mental health issues, substance abuse issues. And that was because when I was in school, I worked as a drug and alcohol counselor at a rehab. And with that experience, this mental health clinic said, okay, you can deal with all of our drug and alcohol clients. which everyone was like, he can have them. I was going to say I didn't know any better than to say, yes, okay, happy to take that. But what happened was I learned a skill and I listened to people over and over and over tell me how their world spiraled down. Which came first, the mental illness or the drugs and alcohol? I don't know. Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes drugs and alcohol can cause mental health issues. Sometimes mental health issues can cause or be the precedent stimuli for drinking or bad thoughts. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. But I don't deal with mental health issues much anymore in my coaching. It's more about the future and goals and achieving something and breaking free from an old mindset and creating a new life for yourself. Do you need a new life? Do you want to go further? A good coach could help that. I'm not saying I'm the answer for that. What I am saying is that you need a second set of eyes on your issues. It's not cheap. Coaches aren't cheap, but neither is staying stuck. You can have an employer, but you are always your own boss. I want you to stop thinking about calling another person boss. Stop it. Enough already with that. For the brothers who have one-itis and who hasn't struggled with one-itis in the past, here are some cures, 7 of them to be exact. Time. Just letting time go by. Distance, whether it be the time thing or geographic distance. 3, absence. You got to disappear, man. 4, replacement. Replace the one that you have one-itis over. In other words, just find another friend to change the venue, the mental venue. I said this years ago, that you don't miss her, you miss her body and the image of her body, but you don't miss her. That went over some people's heads. Other guys just said, whoa, that's deep. And you're correct. Number 5, working out is a great cure for one-itis. Number 6, walking. And number 7, physical labor. Great cures for one-itis. So it's time to move on. And you know it. And I know that just spoke to somebody. For my divorced bros out there, your wife declared her personal Independence Day long before she served you with divorce papers. There was an incident, a disagreement, something where she strayed from the marital covenant. And if you think clearly about it, and the only way you can think clearly about it is if you are removed from it a little bit, you know the exact day and time that it happened. And if you add to that her friends and her mother chirping in her ear, your marriage didn't stand a chance. It didn't matter what you did. That's why I like to say, save the man and not the marriage. If you ever put your woman in the position of boss or the masculine role or your better half, she's my better half, let me ask the boss, she's eventually going to resent you. So as Brandon Griffith said in the video a couple days ago, cowboy up. It's time to cowboy up. Your wife isn't your mama, and if she is, don't be surprised if, or I should say when, she treats you like a child. The thought of starting to lay the foundation of a new life is actually scarier than doing it. The thought of starting something new is scarier than actually doing it. Start this week Make the move so by this time next week you will have made a move towards a new life. What does that mean for you? Does that mean planning a move out? Does that mean a new job? Does that mean cutting out carbs? Does that mean working out twice a week if you've never worked out? Does that mean getting back into the gym or starting some exercise program at home? What does that mean for you? The thought of starting to lay the foundation of a new life is scarier than actually doing it. Make the move, my bro. Make the move. Your life would be easier if you earned more money. It's not going to happen by accident. No one's coming to your front door knocking and going to save you. You need to start hanging out with people who are talking about that and doing it. And some of it will rub off. It will. Just emulate people who are living the kind of life that you want to live right now. Every now and then I got to throw something in there that changes the subject. I love this quote from the character Phil Leotardo on The Sopranos. He says, "You want compromise? How's this? 20 years in the can. I wanted manigot. I compromised. I ate grilled cheese off the radiator." Pretty funny quote. Stick me in a room with a couple guys who get it, and we will create a $50,000 a month business. I'm moving with that kind of energy these days. I feel good about it. The power of a mastermind group is a force to be reckoned with. You have to separate yourself from people who doubt you, who make stupid comments, who post bullshit all over the web, and have that hold you back vibe. You are vulnerable in the beginning of your new life. A lot of things and people can knock you off course. You must put yourself in the presence of those who believe that you can do it and have abilities that you don't have. So what will you do? You're going to package, you're going to publish, you're going to market your knowledge because you know something that other people don't know and are willing to pay money for. That's what you will do. So stop it with the, well, I don't know what to sell. I don't know what to write about. You know, there's a market for everything. And yes, people are willing to pay you for what you know. That's all part of cowboying up, nutting up, manning up. And when you cowboy up, as Brandon Griffith would say, within the frame of the masculine man who is cowboying up, or as I would say, nutting up, the woman rests in her own femininity, as Tanisha would say, and the feminine role in the relationship. The woman will even talk and look differently when you man up. You know who the biggest BS artist in the world is? Look in a mirror. It's yourself. You need to boycott your own lies and stop believing the bullshit story you keep telling yourself. It's time to move on from the I can't because, that will never happen because I'm too fat, too old, too young, too uneducated. Like what? Just fill in the damn blank. You can do anything you want with the proper guidance. You can literally achieve almost anything you want. You have the same 24 hours, same exact 24 hours as the successful people that you respect. What are they doing with their time? That's why I ask you, what is the highest and best use of your time right now? What is the highest and best use of your time before noon today? By the end of the day. I like to say before noon because everything, I think most productivity happens before noon every day in the Western world. After lunchtime, most productivity goes down to nothing. It's just waiting until the end of the day or looking busy. It's funny, when you work for yourself, you don't waste time. You don't dilly-dally when you work for yourself. 2022 is the year that you can start to get unstuck. 2023 is definitely the year that you're going to make it happen. And I talk about stuff like that in my free Unstuck newsletter that you can get at georgebruno.com. Men in custody court. A woman sheds tears and the judge says, let's take a 20-minute recess. A man sheds a tear and the judge says, counselor, control your client. This is the guy that's fighting to see his kids twice a month. Bro, I know what you went through. Been there, done that. You have family court PTSD. I guarantee. No one can tell me any different. And some of you will be more bothered by my use of profanity than the fact that a father who used to tuck his kids in every night is now reduced to uncle or visitor. Come on. Mom's revolving door of boyfriends. Those boyfriends have more access to your children than you do. Her parents, which were your loving in-laws at one time, backed up all the bullshit that she puts down. Now your children don't have access to their paternal grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters. They're estranged from your side of the family. The kids have no true grounding. And the courts are to blame. No wonder men are tapping out on women and going their own way. Or adopting the, for lack of a better term, pump and dump lifestyle. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. This is not a rare situation. This is commonplace all across the Western world. Gentlemen, I stand with you in what choices that you make to end that marriage, to leave her for good, or if you are the one that has been left, to get yourself back on your feet. I stand with you on that. It can be done. People will always let you down no matter who they are. This is why you must generate your own contentment. Otherwise, life, love, and business is going to be a very tiring roller coaster ride. Nobody can get you down for long unless you give them permission to do so. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.
Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hi, my name is Erin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am
Ja, das ist nicht schlimm.